difficult. There you go. All right. So while I am adjusting your view here, I want you to take a look. Right now, I have it open and I'm inside of the incident queue already for you. But let's figure out how I got there and how to navigate effectively. All right. So when I land inside of Jira, usually I come in and I'm dropped inside of the My Workspace, that hub, that homepage where you end up getting dropped. Looks like this. Inside of here, you'll see lots of, projects and recent things that I have worked on or viewed. So this is a really powerful hub. If you want to pin this homepage, it will tell you across all of your frequent places that you visit. So any of your spaces or projects, if you will, are right here at the top. And anything you've worked on recently. So I was messing with these tickets for this demo, and anything that you viewed recently or that you were at mentioned or recommended on. And Atlassian will actually send you recommendations here. I'm assuming it uses AI, which is pretty cool. So it looks at what you've recently worked on and pops in suggestions here. You can also see other things that are happening. So recent pages that were maybe updated by yourself and things like that. So it's really powerful to start here. And then from here, you can jump into whatever it is you need to tackle today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of the projects, which actually isn't up here because I don't actually use it very often. So I'm going to go right on this little sidebar because this is the new view. And then I'm going to come in here to JSM. And in here on JSM, in the new view, you'll have your projects listed here. And if you click view all projects, you can see them all. The one I want to demo today is right at the top. So I'm going to start with jumping into the queue. Queues are just a bucket basically of tickets that are filtered to show just that, you know, type of ticket or whatever your JQL filter is for these queues. Now, in the JSM uh, queue section, it is now customizable. So you can actually come in here to queue settings, make some changes. These are really great areas of value for finding your work. Once you set it up once, then you don't have to worry about it in the future. So I highly recommend coming in and making sure that your queue settings are showing what you want it to show. And if you're constantly clicking to ascend or descend a specific field, and you'd rather see the data always with that field, in order or ascending or descending, you can go ahead and add that into your queue for yourself by using this order by section of the JQL. If you're new to JQL, don't worry. You can switch to basic if it isn't already selected. And you can use the drop down and select lists here to kind of start filtering. I do recommend, though, as a habit, you just go ahead and click on JQL and read it. And also verify that the tickets you see here in the queue are what you need to see. So once you have your queues all set up and filtering out the tickets that are valuable to you, you can, leverage those to find your work much quicker. So in this instance, we have basically the out of the box queues, which are usually all open, assigned to me, unassigned, and resolved. I'm going to go ahead and just click on all open so you can take a look at this screen. All right. As an individual, though, all open maybe isn't the most helpful for me because I might not really need to see the things that I'm not assigned on. So, a quick value add are these filters at the top. So, if you're in a queue that doesn't filter by person or order by person, you can just come in here and filter it. And now I can see, tickets that I'm assigned. And then I can also do reporter. So I might want to see the tickets that I submitted and the ones that I am assigned. So you can come take a look, but this is going to be an and condition, so it has to meet both conditions in order to, show it. So it has to be I am the assignee and I am the reporter. So just so you know, it does combine these, and that will, adjust. Or if, say, for example, you do have an assigned to me queue, but really you're just looking for things that are currently in progress, you can filter by that, or anything that's like in open. Maybe you don't want to see the other things. So you can come in here and start filtering. So definitely leverage these filters. Next up, I'm going to open up one of these tickets, so we can take a look at it and this is as an agent. So this is as a back end doer. So we're going to take a look at this ticket that way. And then we'll also take a look at it from the portal in case you are a portal user. So agents, once they open up the ticket, they could see a variety of details here. We could see what, the title of the ticket is, what status it's in. If there are any SLAs, if your admin has those set up, you can see if you are in breach or, when this needs to be due by. You can also see other things like, who submitted it, who's assigned the ticket, and all of that. But sometimes your organization might, instead of using a normal screen, use a form instead. And there's a variety of reasons why you would use a form. But mostly, I advise my customers that you want to use forms if there is a dynamic field selection. So, say you need the value, if someone selects yes on this question, you need these other fields to show. That's a good time to leverage a form because you cannot do that with a regular screen. So, inside of these forms, though, you actually have all of the data. If you are in a situation where you find opening this form every time to be cumbersome, you can also link these fields to the Jira fields and then just make sure that Jira field is actually shown here. So if that's something that kind of annoys you, you can talk to your Jira admin about that and configuring it so that these form fields and their values are linked with the Jira field. Also, you want to make sure that any fields you really need data on later. So maybe you're going to draft a report. Maybe your boss will come to you and say, you know what, Cassie, how many security policy tickets did we get this year? If that is valuable information for you, then that should be a field. You should have a field somewhere that is linked to a Jira field on your form so that you can easily JQL that. One of the things that I find that agents need to know the most, though, is what if I need to edit this, or I need to I talk to the user, the customer on the portal, and I need them to actually edit this. So you can come in and you can click on these three little dots, and you can actually open it up for customer edits, or you can edit the form yourself. So once you edit the form, you can just go ahead and hit submit. Now, depending on your configurations of your form, there is the option to have forms reattach every version so you kind of get that version control. Because here in the history of the ticket, you'll actually see that I edited it, but some people like to have the original submission in its entirety. So you can actually have a form reattach when an edit occurs, which is pretty cool. So you can take a look at those settings and configurations with your Jira admin. But to find the data and details, you might have to open the form like I did by just clicking this little drop down. So once you find your work, you can also come in here and create subtasks. Maybe you need to break this down, or you might do part of this job and you need someone else to do something to fix this. So you can make a ticket for that person. And then once that ticket is created, you can actually go ahead and assign that out to that person. I realize that when you create tickets in line like this, you don't get a really robust description, but that's okay. You can click into the ticket and you can edit the description. I love being able to create tickets in line like that because I don't have to worry about that parent field or like linking them. They're already linked. And then if I want to go back to my ticket, I can just click right back to it in the breadcrumbs here. Now, if, it was my lunch break and I walked away, and then I've like actioned something out. So let's just kind of go to a different queue and get out of there. I can actually find that ticket by coming up here to the search button and find the most recently um, opened tickets. Remember, you have to open the ticket in its like full version in order for it to show here. So then you can just hop back in, continue on with your work. So leveraging this search toolbar is really helpful to finding the things you've recently had opened. But a lot of people don't even realize you can actually filter by tickets that, you've that were updated today, or you could filter by service desk or which desk you want. So if I know the ticket lives in IT and I know that I updated it today, I can filter by that. I can also filter by who's assigned to it. So let's see, these tickets are assigned to Christy, and these are the ones that were updated today, and they are in the IT service desk. So it's really helpful to be able to find things really quickly here. So definitely leverage this search toolbar. Additionally, once you're working on a ticket, a lot of times you have notifications that are set up by your Jira admin, and you aren't really, paying attention to those anymore. Maybe you get too many notifications and they're emailing you constantly and they're just not of value to you. Or maybe you're like me, I absolutely cannot stand email notifications, especially for my Jira stuff, because I want my notifications in the tool that I'm living in. If that's the case, you can actually update your own notifications by coming here to your user and coming in to, let's see, actually, they've moved it around in the new UI. It used to be in your user, now it's over here in the settings, and you can come into notification settings here. On this screen, you can adjust where you see things, which is really great, and when you see things. So as you see, my settings actually have emails going out every 60 minutes. So every hour, any of the micro movement on tickets that I do get notifications for, they'll be grouped together in a single email rather than several emails. So as habit, I try to check my email once every hour because really the fastest way to reach me is in Jira. I also don't like to get emails about changes I've made on tickets. So I think almost everyone should have this unchecked unless you're a super newbie and you want to know about changes you made just in case um, you did them accidentally or something. You might have this checked on, but otherwise, I would definitely advise checking that one off. You can also come down here and state where you want to get notified. So I, like I said, don't like emails, so my emails are turned off. But if I wanted them on, I could go ahead and turn them on, or maybe I just want some of them on. I could do it that way. But I have in product selected. And what they mean by in product, they mean this cute little notification bell. And we'll get to discussing this just in a minute. But yeah, so you could come in here and you can, get all of your notifications. You can also now customize your project notifications based on the project itself, which is like really cool. So you can come in here and adjust those, which is really cool. So also on the left, you do have alerts. So if, for example, you are you know, on call or you have incident tickets where you're linked as like the responder, you can come in and you can actually adjust where you're getting your notifications and how you're getting your notifications. So if you see, I get a text message when I have an alert to my work phone. So it's really valuable to have that set up in that way is immediately I know that someone, doesn't have access to Jira or that there is a problem that I need to respond to. Even if I'm at the grocery store and away from my desktop, I know, okay, when I get back, I can action that. So talk to your Jira admin if you don't have, you know, your incidents and your response team set up because using the operations here are very, very helpful. And integrating your tools and being able to get those incident and alerts are really, really valuable to actioning the work of value quicker. All right, so we've talked about, turning on and off our notification settings. And remember, those are just for yourself. We've talked about the search bar, which is really helpful. But let's dive in a little bit more to the forward facing, you know, tips and tricks on the portal itself. As a Jira admin or a doer in the back of the project, which we call an agent in the JSM world, if you're an agent or service desk team member, the quickest way to get from the back end to the front end is going to this little channels button and then clicking on portal and hitting open. I know a lot of people favorite it in their browser, but this is the easiest way to jump to your desk specifically on the portal. So as you see here, I have a beautiful portal that, I've set up. These portals, these are little groupings of tickets, and then are, ticket types or work types, request types, however you want to call it. These request types here have their little description under them. All of this is fully customizable. So when the user comes in, they can find what they need. But a lot of people miss out on this little search icon up here. So I like to train my users instead of coming in, looking at these groups. Let me go back. Instead of coming in and looking at these groups, I actually tell them if there's a lot of groups and you don't like, you just want to move quicker, you can actually come in here and say, phone, I have a problem with my phone. Or let's see, let's think of a keyword. Let me see, something new, maybe hardware will come up. You will actually see when I type in those keywords, you will see the different request types that are here. And if you have a Confluence space integrated and you have this, keyword as a label on your Confluence space, those how to self-help kind of documents could appear here as long as you have them visual to your users. I don't have that configured in this space because, like I said, it's new space. I'm working on a demo. I haven't created that content just yet. But this makes it a lot easier to filter out all the noise. So working smarter, not harder. We're going to jump right into there really quickly and we'll be able to submit the ticket. All right. Last thing, because we are running out of time, that I wanted to cover is say you submitted a ticket in the portal and you've walked away, it's been a few days, and you're like, I haven't heard anything on it. Where did that ticket go? You can actually come into your portal from any of the screens that you see here and come to your little username avatar up here, click on it, and then click requests. When you click on that, be mindful of this little filter at the top because sometimes it gets you. Maybe they've already actioned your request and it's in the closed status, but you've missed the email. So you might want to uncheck this filter. If you know what type of ticket it is that you've submitted, you can come in here and you can, select the type of the request type here so that you can filter. You can also filter by status. And you can filter by keywords in the summary. So if I know that it was about CrowdStrike, I could search for tickets with that text in the summary. So now that I found my ticket, I can come in here and I can open it up and I can take a look at everything. And then I can come in here and comment and, carry on with my ticket. Now, let's say you're added as a, request participant. So someone shared this ticket with you, but it's getting a lot of movement, a lot of noise, and you just really don't want those notifications, you can turn those notifications off for this specific ticket by clicking here. Remember, that means anything that happens on this ticket now, you will not get the notifications. So definitely be careful and don't turn these notifications off if you didn't mean to. All right, well, that was a lot of information for today. I'm going to wrap it up there as this is meant to be a micro learning session. These are recorded and kept on my YouTube channel, so feel free to rewatch them, favorite them, share them out with colleagues if that is of help to you. But for now, I will say goodbye and I